ever heard of mastering chaos? I heard it for the first time when I started my business. Imagine you were standing at the edge of a cliff, blindfolded. At this point, you can't see anything, right? And everybody around you tells you, don't worry, just take a step forward and you will find the bridge. Would you trust them? Would you take that step forward? I don't know, I'd think about it a little. But you see, that feeling right there that you're feeling is called uncertainty. Uncertainty is unstable, it's unpredictable, and it makes no promises. But that's exactly where breakthrough happens. See, in your life, in your business, in everything that you do, uncertainty exists. However, it is not just a phase. It is a setting, it is the tone, it's the conflict, and truly, if you are brave enough, it is that exact twist that will change your entire life. Now, today I am here to show you that uncertainty is not your enemy. In fact, it's your arena. That is your playing field. And what that means is that once you master uncertainty, you can do anything. You can do anything at all. That pretty much means anything that you believe in, anything that you want to become, and you basically design your own future. What does that mean? See, uncertainty is inherently unstable because eventually everything either is or isn't. We live in a world where everything is a choice. Every day we wake up, we make a decision. Every day we go to sleep, we make a decision, not knowing whether we are making the right decision or not. And every time you make a decision, you question, am I on the right path? That feeling that you feel when you do that is called uncertainty. See, uncertainty is unstable because it threatens our illusion of control. As humans, we love to control everything. We think that we can control everything, and that is why it's called an illusion, because you don't really control anything. Everything happens for you to better you, right? And even though you think you're making a decision in that moment, everything happened before you even thought about it. What exactly do I mean when I say that? I mean, it's not unstable to threaten you. It's just unstable to make sure that you understand that you do not only have one choice in life. You have more than one choice. And once you master that choice, you have the opportunity to choose what is right for you, even though you don't know if it will. See, think of it as a pendulum, right? If you had a swing, if you just pushed the swing and you let it swing, what would you get? A swing that just goes wildly, and what would you get from that? You would essentially just have feelings of anxiety and fear because you wouldn't know where it would go next. But if you timed the swing, if you followed the momentum of the swing, then you'd be able to capture the rhythm. And that will then allow you to predict its next move. That is your power. That is how you gain power from uncertainty. Now, I, like everybody else, am on social media quite a lot. And I think that a lot of us have seen this quote quite a bit. There's a quote that I'm quite fond of that I see all the time, a quote by Kanye West that says, "So many people want to know what I'd do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know." And you see, that is confidence in action. He didn't say that because he knew the outcome of whatever it was that he was doing. No, he said that because he knew that he would take that step despite the fear or the outcome or anything that he would find. See, it's so difficult to find yourself when you're trying to find yourself. All you try to do is control your next step, and even that you don't know how to do. So how do you anchor yourself in your goals? How do you anchor yourself in your vision? How do you then ground yourself and decide that I am not going to question myself the next time I need to make a decision? I'm going to take that step because I actually want to be the person in my vision. You start small. You start with routines. Because you see, when chaos hits, structure saves. And yes, that is a reference of the Three Little Piggies and the Big Bad Wolf. Because I think we all know that when the big bad wolf huffs and puffs, only the piggy with the strongest structure will survive. And that basically means you need a foundation. Your foundation is your morning routines, your journaling, your reflection. You do a lot to try and combat the chaos, but that's not what you need. Because you have an inner GPS. You already have the voice that is going to be a voice of reason, that is going to tell you that the chaos will not swallow you. Do it. Continue. And then what do you do next? You move. Because fear absolutely hates movement. Fear despises movement. Because as soon as you drive into the fog, you don't stop there and wait for the fog to die out, for the skies to clear. You keep going. You keep moving forward. And eventually, you end up on the other side of the fog. And that is how you build trust within yourself and within your decisions. And now that you've moved, what do you do next? This is a difficult one. You accept. You accept that chaos exists. And you don't try to control it. See, surfers don't go to the ocean and decide, I'm going to fight the ocean to give me what I want. I need the ocean to be what I need it to be, just so that I can ride the wave. No. They train to ride whatever wave the ocean prepares for them. So when they get there, they're always ready because they've trained. So, you don't control chaos, you accept it. And likewise, when you are facing chaos, you don't move away from it. You build your balance within the instability and not in spite of it. Now, how do you do that? How does anybody do that, right? Would you believe me if I told you the most successful people in the world don't avoid instability? They don't avoid uncertainty. In fact, they court it. They court the unknown because they know that within that fog lies all the possibility in the world. See, all of us have that voice that says, what if I don't make it? What if I fail? What if they say no? But the good thing about that is that it's that same little voice that tells you that they could possibly say no. That if you master it, will be your compass. And once you have that compass, you can journey through life understanding that chaos is not there to destabilize you. But once you find your footing within the chaos, you're able to journey through it. See, chaos shakes us. Uncertainty shakes us. It stretches us, but it also shapes us. And once you learn to master it, to embrace the fog, to step on that rope, to take that first step into the journey of your vision, you learn to build. You learn to create, to lead. You architect within it. See, you don't have to run away from chaos, because even the greatest movements were not born out of a perfect plan. Every movement was born from relentless courage. And what do I mean by relentless courage? See, uncertainty is not your enemy. In fact, it is your ally. Is it unstable? Yes. Is it unpredictable? Absolutely. But that is where the power lies. That is your power. I know, it sounds a little bit tricky. How does uncertainty become my power? See, uncertainty is only unstable because we think it's unstable. It's only unstable because when life gives us two paths, faith or fear, we stand there and choose to say, what if I fail? And that is you choosing fear. But see, faith and fear both require you to believe in something that does not exist. They both require you to believe in something that you cannot see, that you cannot touch, and quite frankly, they both exist within the same realm of possibility. The only difference is that one will build you, the other will break you. It's your choice. So you see, the next time you are faced with uncertainty, and you choose faith even though you're afraid, and you choose to move even though your hands are trembling and your voice is shaking, you choose to trust that the vision that you have will stay stable regardless of the chaos that surrounds you. That is when you start to master the storm. And mastering the storm does not mean that you have to silence the chaos. It means you have to become within it. See, power is a very tricky thing. You don't get it, you don't keep it, you can't find it, even though you looked for it. And you know why? Because it's inside of you. And one of the biggest things we fail to do is understand that power does not require you to be stable. It just requires you to understand that you are powerful. It expects you to stand there and believe that the bridge is there, even though you don't know it, because you already know your vision. It requires you to stabilize yourself in your vision. See, mastering chaos has nothing to do with trying to fight the chaos, but it has everything to do with becoming stable within the chaos. It has everything to do with understanding yourself and giving back to yourself and standing in your vision. So the next time they ask you, are you going to take that step? Trust me, the step is there. Will you take it? Will you trust me? You still not sure? Let's zoom out a little bit. What if uncertainty wasn't about you? What if it was about the person next to you? What if it was about your friend or somebody that you love? See, philanthropy is one of the most uncertain acts. You give your money, your time, your energy, with no certainty or guarantee of return. You do it because you believe. You do it because you trust. You do it because hope is a lot louder than fear. See, uncertainty lives in everything that we do. It's not only in business, it's not only in our friends and families, it's not only in our choices, It's actually in our kitchens, in our love lives, when we cross the road. Don't you wonder, when you're crossing the road, if somebody will skip the red light and bump into you? Don't you wonder when you're cooking without a recipe, if you'll do it right? Don't you wonder when you love somebody, will you come out of there alive? All of that is uncertainty. And the same principles that you apply when you're doing your everyday life is the same principles that you apply when you're going for your vision. So the next time you're standing in front, at the edge of a cliff, it's okay. Take the next step, because that bridge only appears when you appear. I am Her Royal Highness Reabetswe Makokwe, and thank you for listening to my TED Talk.